Welcome to Looking at Legal Stuff. Today we have a clip from a small claims case where Dad is suing his ex-wife over the bedroom furniture and personal belongings of their shared children after he claims that she broke into his home when he wasn't there and took the children's stuff. Mom claims that she was only doing what he asked her to do. She says that Dad contacted her to tell her that she should go and get the children's belongings out of the home because not only was he being evicted, but he was also going to be in jail and he didn't know how long he'd be incarcerated for. She says she was just trying to help him out, and this is the thanks she gets. What will the magistrate think of their claims? Let's find out.
All right, so this is file 2402649SC, Kramer versus Rakowski. This is a small claims case. In other words, we are here in small claims trying to get this done without anyone using attorneys, but unrepresented parties. And also, you're not asking to have a jury trial of it or anything of that nature, but for this to be decided right here now in front of me. So if both parties are ready and willing to proceed in that fashion, the first thing I would do is swear you in. I'll go ahead and raise your right hands.
What is going on?
Ms. Rakowski, I need you to raise your right hand. All right. Mr. Kramer, it seems like there's something going on with her audio that she's not hearing us. You can go ahead and put your hand down. Ms. Rakowski, are you able to hear me?
I'm not muted, but I can't hear anything.
You may just have your volume down.
You can mute
We
yourself.
shall see if she left a number. She did leave a number. 1, 2, 3, 2, 5. Ms. Rakowski, we're trying to call you on a phone now.
Hello.
All right, Ms. Rakowski, I don't know whether you have your volume down or what. We are able to hear you, but if you are not able to hear me, then it's more important you stay on the phone than we see you.
Yes, I don't know why it was just working and now it says your speaker's not working, but
And what I'm going to do then is mute you. So now I can see you, but I can hear you on the phone, right?
okay.
All right. So first thing I'm going to do is swear both parties in. Mr. Kramer, you want to take yourself off mute so I can hear you. Party swear. Ms. Rakowski, I need you to raise your right hand. Swear or affirm that any testimony you give here today would be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right. So it seems that what is happening here, I don't get too much information, Mr. Kramer. You thought you were storing certain items with Ms. Rakowski for later, and then by the time you were able to receive property, property is gone, right?
Yes, basically.
All right. So where did you go that you couldn't store your own stuff?
I was in jail, and when I got out of jail,
So you went to jail, and
Yep.
Miss Rakowski is what? A friend of yours? What was the
Ex-wife.
relationship? What's that?
Ex-wife.
Ex-wife. All right. And so you say to her, hey, I'm going to jail. I got to get all this stuff out of this place. And she says, I can store it with me.
I did not say that. I did not ask
what'd you
her
say?
to or anything. She
All right, so
entered
you went to
into-
jail.
Yep. She entered into my home and removed all my both my sons' stuff from the house.
Okay, is that her sons as well?
Yes.
All right. So you were in jail, so she took property. What happened to your place? Did you just keep paying rent while you were in jail?
That is a different matter. It was my mother's house, and my sisters kicked me out after my mother passed away.
All right. So you couldn't stay there. So she comes and gets some stuff that belongs to your children and you have in common.
Yes.
All right. Then you get out of jail and you're suing her because why?
Because she took the items without me asking or having permission to enter the house, and then
Okay,
told
but
me
you were in jail and being evicted, right?
yes, but I still had
So
time
she's
to
doing you a
remove them.
solid, right?
I thought so.
All right. I just mean your stuff would have been gone either way, right? You got evicted.
No.
The landlord doesn't need to keep your stuff. They're not going to keep it. They're going to get rid of it.
I had
The
time to
problem
remove
is
it.
you go into jail.
I had time. I went to jail for less than 24 hours, and I was able to remove all the rest of my items within the next week. When I went to jail, she came into the house without being asked or anything and removed all the items that I paid for. They're mine. And yeah.
Okay, and you guys split custody,
Yes.
but you don't live together?
No, we have been divorced for over 10 years.
All right, Ms. Rakowski, what'd you do with the furniture?
My sister's still using most of it, and a couple pieces were given to their grandfather because he lost his cabin.
All right, so
Burned, so
the kids are using it at your house.
part of it, yes.
So you could give those things back to Mr. Kramer if he said they're his and you didn't pay for them.
I offered to give him the bed back, and because my son was using it, my oldest moved out, so he has some of the bedroom furniture, and he's actually here with me today to state that he does still have some of the furniture, but he no longer has a contact order with his dad. Well, when all this happened, what happened is Marcus put his hands on my oldest son. And
so then there was a no contact order.
And there was a no contact order.
All right, so he's not going to be visiting his dad anytime soon.
No.
And so that's why you went and took the stuff.
Actually, he was out because he was at work when we went over and got the children's stuff. He told me that we could go get all the boys' stuff because he was going to jail and he didn't know for how long. I told him that we could take his stuff and store it at my parents' house if that's what he wanted, and he informed me no, that he would figure it out.
All right.
So we went over and got the children's stuff.
All right, so Mr. Kramer, this is children your furniture used. You're not allowed to have contact with the children because of a court order. What's the problem?
I'm not allowed to have contact with my oldest, and I'm not suing for my oldest's stuff. I'm suing for the value of my youngest's that I've already had to replace. And
that you told her she could go get?
I did not tell her to go get.
Okay, but that's a he said, she said. Her version makes a lot more sense than your version. So tell me why I'm going to order that she has to pay you money?
When I got out and realized all these things are gone, I asked where they were, and she said that she'd taken them. And at the time, I was well overwhelmed from losing my house, my mother, my kids, my life savings at the time, and didn't have a place to live. I had less than a week to find it, and I just let it go for the moment. When I found a place to live.
Guess what, guys? You're not supposed to be in small claims. If you really want to fight about this, you need to go back to circuit court where you got your divorce and put in a motion to say that, you know, she has furniture that really you paid for to use for the kids because you're not allowed to be around the kid. I mean, that's a family court issue. That's not you suing in small claims.
She removed items from my household, not the share.
Then you need to file a police report if you're saying she didn't have permission to do that.
And then she promised to store them. And then when I asked for them back, she offered me a mattress or a bed frame.
Sir, that's not, you don't have a contract with her. It's that your life fell apart. She tried to do you a solid and now you're suing her. That's not going to go real far with me.
She wasn't doing me a solid. I didn't ask her to remove those items. I didn't ask her.
And you should file a police report if you're saying she broke into your house and didn't have a conversation with you about how you told her she could take this stuff. Well, that's why, because it doesn't sound like a crime. It also doesn't sound like a small claims case, sir.
So people are allowed to go in your house and remove items and not.
Well, no, you should file a police report, but I can't do anything if even the police and the prosecutors say, yeah, we're not going to do anything about that. You could sue in small claims, which you're trying to do, but after I hear this evidence, I'm telling you the same thing. I'm not going to do anything about that. This is all essentially your fault, right? You were the ones whose actions got you in jail and got you a no contact order with your children. And then instead of your children suffering that they have possessions that they're not allowed to have access to anymore, Your children are now still using all those things,
They
right?
are
Don't you
not.
want them to have a bed?
I do. That's why I bought them beds.
Yeah.
She
Well, I
can buy
will
her
say
own bed,
this,
and for her own grandpa
you
that
are
she gave
able
them to.
you are able to say, hey, I want that bed back, but it doesn't do you any good if you're not allowed to have contact with the child.
I don't want the oldest's back. I want my youngest's stuff back that I already had to re-buy because she refused to give me even his clothes back. Nothing. She only offered me a box spring back, and that was it.
Okay, but if they're the
Then
children's, how old is this youngest child?
14 now.
All right. So what possessions are you talking about that she took that are the child's possessions that you are suing for?
Complete bed set that I just bought a year and a half prior. That was over $2,000. A dirt bike that I got him a year before that was around $1,000 in value. Plus
All right, now hold
clothes,
on.
TV,
Hold
and
on.
all other
Ms.
things.
Rakowski, did you take the dirt bike?
Cody has the dirt bike. Actually, he just traded the dirt bike for a go-kart because he said the dirt bike was his, so that was his possession.
Yeah, that's what 14-year-olds will do. What about the bedroom set?
We've still got an end table and a dresser that Cody is using, and the bed was broke when we got it. The screws were coming out of the bottom.
All right. And that furniture, you said that Mr. Kramer, if he wants it back, he can have it?
I sent him a picture of the oldest child's bed that I have set up in here now for a room.
I'm not concerned about that. If that's the no contact order, then I'm not going to do much on that. But if there's furniture that he paid for so that his younger child can live with him, that furniture is his.
And I had a bed that was still one of the bedroom sets that I sent him a picture. It wasn't just a picture of a box spring, it was a complete bed. And that is how all this started. He says, I said, I've got one of the beds here. Once I found out he got his new place, I said, I've got one of the beds here that you can pick up. And I was working on the rest of the stuff. And then I got a text from him saying I owed him $2,000 for all this bedroom furniture. And now I'm being sued for $4,000 over this bedroom stuff that I was told to go get my children's stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to find this as not something you guys should be dealing with in small claims. If you want to, go back to circuit court and fight over this like it's divorce stuff and child custody stuff, you can, but it's not a small claims issue. It may be a criminal matter, but that would be up to the prosecutors and the police. So I will send a copy of this order to both parties. It'll essentially just say this was dismissed without prejudice. Both parties have the right to appeal that finding. To appeal, you must appeal within 7 days of today's date. And to do that, you must come in and do that in writing because you would have to fill out a form to remove this to general civil within the next 7 days. Do you both understand your rights on appeal?
Yes.
I believe so.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and release parties then. Thank you.